Xi Jinping's sweeping anti-corruption purge, once seen as a powerful tool to strengthen his grip on the Communist Party, now appears to be backfiring on China. Amid tensions with the United States and its allies, revenues at China's state-run military enterprises saw a downturn last year, largely driven by slower contract approvals and delays in procurement, suggesting that internal crackdowns and inefficiencies are beginning to choke the pace of defense production. This weakening trend in Chinese defense revenue stands in stark contrast to the robust growth enjoyed by military companies across the globe, many of which are benefiting from rising international defense spending and a surge in global security concerns. A SIPRI report shows that China's military firms saw a sharp decline of 10%, signaling slower momentum in the country's defense industry. Meanwhile, Japan surged ahead with an impressive 40% growth, reflecting its rapid expansion in defense spending and strategic modernization. Germany followed closely with revenues rising by 36%, highlighting Europe's renewed focus on military readiness. And in the United States, defense revenues climbed modestly by 3.8%, showing steady yet consistent growth. Revenues generated by the world's 100 largest arms manufacturers climbed by nearly 6%, reaching an unprecedented total of $679 billion, a record that underscores the growing demand for military hardware and technology. This surge in revenue has been largely fueled by ongoing wars in Ukraine and Gaza, as well as a rising wave of global and regional tensions that have pushed nations to expand their defense budgets and accelerate arms procurement. However, China's notable decline in defense revenue was significant enough to drag down the entire Asia-Oceania region, making it the only part of the world to experience an overall drop in arms industry earnings. Experts increasingly link the recent decline in revenues at major Chinese armed companies to President Xi Jinping's sweeping anti-corruption purge, suggesting that the campaign has disrupted procurement, slowed new contracts, and shaken confidence across the defense sector. The People's Liberation Army was one of the main targets of this broader corruption crackdown, with investigators focusing especially on senior ranks and sensitive branches, sending a message that no part of China's armed forces is immune from scrutiny. In October, 8 top generals were expelled from the Communist Party on graft charges, a dramatic move that underscored the breadth of alleged corruption and signaled a determination to root out misconduct even at the highest levels of military leadership. He Weidong, China's number 2 general and a key figure on the powerful Central Military Commission, was also sacked, an extraordinary fall from grace that highlighted both the scale of the purge and the leadership's willingness to remove even its most senior commanders. An Tian, Director of Military Expenditure and Arms Production Program at Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, said, and I quote, "A host of corruption allegations in Chinese arms procurement led to major arms contracts being postponed or cancelled in 2024. This deepens uncertainty around the status of China's military modernization efforts and when new capabilities will materialize." Unquote. The revenue fall for China's major defense firms comes after 3 decades of steadily rising military budgets, underlining how internal disruptions and corruption purges are now cutting into an industry that had long been on an upward trajectory. China is locked in an intense strategic rivalry with the United States and its allies in Asia over flashpoints such as Taiwan and the South China Sea. Yet its recent defense revenue slump raises questions about how effectively it can translate that competition into sustained military industrial strength.